Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create this sliding animation effect for a slide presentation agenda or something similar in PowerPoint. We're going to start with a new presentation. I'm choosing a blank presentation, so I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to the Design tab and I'm going to choose a design format to use. I'm going to use this one here, which is called Mesh. Going back to the Home tab of the ribbon, I want to change this lead slide to a blank slide. So I'm going to Layout and I'm going to choose Blank. Now for the shapes, we're going to the Insert tab. I'm going to Shapes and I'm going to Rectangles. I'm going to drag out a rectangle. Now I want this to be about a quarter of the slide, but a bit less, because ultimately I need to fit, if I'm going to have 4 agenda items, I need to fit 4 of these across the slide and have a bit of room to spare. Now mine's looking just fine. You may want to test yours. I'm putting this back into its position and now I'm going to add a circle. So I'm going back to Insert, back to Shapes, and this time to Oval. I'm going to hold the Shift key down as I drag out a circle. I'm going to line these up. Now I don't want my bump on the front of my shape to be very big, but I want it to be visible. So we're nicely lined up with that red line is showing me that it's lined up to this rectangle. So I'm going to select my circle, Shift click on the rectangle, and from the Shape Format tab go across here to Merge Shapes and Union, and that gives me a single shape. To add my text, I'm going to right click and choose Edit Text and then type my text. Now with my text in place, I'm going to select over it, and from the Home tab of the ribbon, I'm going to increase the font size. I think I can get away with 24-point font here. I'm going to line it up to the left as well. In a minute, if I leave my text here and copy this bar to be the next one, because it's going to tuck behind this circle here, we're going to have a problem with the text actually disappearing behind this circle. So I have to move this text in off the left side of the shape. To do that, I'm going to select the text, and I have my ruler visible here. If you don't have it, go to View and turn on your ruler. You can see that that turns the ruler on and off. And this element here is what controls the lineup of this here. So I'm just going to move these shapes in 3 notches. So it's like about a bit under ½ an inch, I would imagine there. So you can see that text is now sitting well off that edge. I haven't had to space it out, just moving it with those ruler marks is quite sufficient. Now if you want this to be a different color, select it, go to Shape Format, and then we can choose a different color for it. I'm going to choose this fill color. I want mine to be lighter, so I'm going to choose this as my color. Don't want it to have a border around it. It does right now. It's a little hard to see, but it will be obvious in a minute if I don't get rid of it. So I'm going to Shape Outline, No Outline. Now that I've got my first element in place, I can use it to make my second. Hold down the Control key and just drag the second piece across. I'm going to change its color with Shape Format, Shape Fill. I'm going to choose another one of these colors. You can see that this one is in front of this one here. I want it to be behind, so from the Shape Format tab, I'm just going to click Send Backwards. And now you can see it's tucking behind. You can also see that arranging that text to be inset slightly has kept it well away from this bend here. Just need to replace my text. I think my text needs to be darker, so I'm going to select it and I'm going to choose a color from my color scheme. I'm going to use this gray here. The next thing to do is just to do the next one, so I'm going to Control drag it out of the way, line it up really neatly. I'm going to, from the Shape Format tab, change the fill on it to something different, and then I need to place it behind this one, so I'm just going to click on Send Backwards until it appears behind the other one, and again change my text. Once we've done that, we'll just repeat that for the fourth one. Now that we've got all our shapes in place, we just have to prepare the slider effect. So I'm going to take this particular slide, I'm going to duplicate it. Right click and click Duplicate Slide. So I'm going to assume that this is going to be the second to last one. So I need to put this shape behind this one. So I'm just going to move it over here. And then I'm going to duplicate the slide again. And this time I'm going to hide both of these pieces behind the one next door. And then I'll duplicate the slide again. And I'm going to line all of these pieces up with the left of the screen. I can do that on the Home tab by clicking on the Select Objects tool, and I'm just going to select over everything that is on this slide, and then from Shape Format I can use Align, and because I have Align to Slide selected, then I can just align them to the left. So that tucks all of them in behind each other. So this slide has all four stacked on top of each other. This one has the second one starting to pull out, this one has the third one pulling out, and this one has all the pieces. They're just in the wrong order, so all I need to do is to just reverse their order. Now, eventually I might put an introduction slide in front of all of these. I don't need to do that right now. So to put our slider effect in place, I'm going to select on this first slide and shift click on the fourth one. So all of these are selected. Now I'm going to transitions, because what we're going to do is use the morph transition. And the morph transition is a way of transitioning between slides. It's not an animation per se, because it is actually something that happens between slides. So we're just going to click here on morph. Now, as for any of these transitions, there are some effect options. None of them are helping us here now because I just want to morph my objects anyway. We're also checking that the slide advance is on click, so that would allow me in the presentation to talk to the slide, and as soon as I want to go to the next one, I would just click. So let's see how this looks like if we were to run it as the slideshow. So I'm selecting on the first slide, coming down here to play the slideshow. And this is the first slide, so I'm talking to it. When I'm ready to go ahead, I'm going to press the enter key and the second one will come in, and then talking to that, then we'll go to the third one. Talking to that, we'll go to the fourth one. I'm controlling the movement from one to the next. I'm just going to press escape because that has proved that everything is working just fine. At the moment, the duration is 2 seconds for that slider. If you want to change it, you could do so. So let's just select all the slides and we could change our duration to something longer or shorter. I'm going to make it shorter just because that's going to be really obvious when we test it. Again, you'll see that this is having the desired effect. Let's go to slideshow, and I'm just going to press enter 3 times, and you can see that the movement is much faster. Sliding panels like this are very easy to create in PowerPoint. You'll do it much more quickly if you think ahead and actually copy the shapes so that you're not having to do them afresh each time. Try and set up as much as you can on the first shape so that when you copy it, all the other shapes are going to be so much easier to create. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results every time, then you'll love my other YouTube videos. So give this video a thumbs up and click to subscribe to the channel. And on the screen now, you'll see a video that I've handpicked for you to watch next.